The purpose of the Bismarck Human Relations Committee is to create an atmosphere of inclusion, equality, and accessibility through education and outreach to recognize the value of a diverse community. We're going to open the floor for public comment. Any public comment? Seeing no public comment online or in person, we'll move on to agenda item number 2, approval of the meeting minutes. Did everybody have an opportunity to look over the meeting minutes? Give me just one moment. Did want to thank Tia for chairing the last meeting. Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Sergiana and a second from Darcy. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Perfect. Meeting minutes are approved. Just want to double check. Gabby, are you able to hear us online?
Yes, I am. I was quick or a little bit slow to do a reaction, so.
Yeah, not a problem. So we may take just a little extra time in case there's a delay online to recognize HRC member Gabby. Wow. All right. Moving on to agenda item number 3, partnered events. A Fargo Human Rights Committee collaboration in reviewing the minutes from last month. It looks like this item had been moved to this month, if that's correct. I did speak with, let me see, the Fargo chair, HRC chair, Cheryl Carlson Shafley. And we will be meeting tomorrow at 4 p.m. to discuss possible collaborations. And I figured I would open it up to the committee today to see what kind of talks or if there's any guidance that you would like to give me on that, what we're possibly looking for in interacting with them.
Maybe some things that they've done in Fargo or look at doing in Fargo that we could possibly look at bringing up here. I know that they have done,
They're doing.
because I know they've done the hate crime ordinance. And then it was passed and then we, Commissioner Guy had brought that up and we had been in support of bringing a bit of hot topic or big issues like that they've done. I mean, maybe we haven't thought of bringing to the commission.
I think even just finding out some of their like successful partnerships within the community, like organizations that they work well with. Might help us think of new organizations and others as well.
If I can present to the committee, I know that they recently changed their name from the Human Relations Committee to the Human Rights Committee, if I understand correctly. I'll look into that. They went through a name change to be more fitting to today's current understanding of what these committees are about. So name change. The other thing I was gonna see about bringing up is now that Minot has a committee along these lines also, if we wanted to create a statewide interaction with each other,
I think the last,
a coalition of sorts.
he's not here, but I think someone correct me if I'm not right. Carl had brought up that he'd been in contact with, I think it's Scott Burlingame, who's on the Minot. Doing, I don't know what their name is, but, and having he had a conversation with him.
And he said he was invited to go speak, I believe, to them, which is another thing too, like if the Fargo partnership works out, I'm up in Minot a lot. That, so I wouldn't mind planning around, you know, like with them as well as Carl wanted able to.
Okay.
But yeah, you're right. I thought he said he was maybe able to go speak. I don't know if he did.
It'd be nice if we could, if why not, and if we're willing to have like a work day or something where we can talk about things that all three cities need help with and see if we can collaborate a little bit that way too.
Say that one more time.
I can stream this.
Let's work.
Of
I like a work day.
So like if, you know, like if they meet on like a Monday night too, maybe we can all get together and talk about the same struggles that we all have, and if there's some way that we can work together to overcome them, or some success that we can all build on together.
That's a good chunk. So I'll see where we can go with that. I will do my best to try and loop in Minot possibly for this 4 PM conversation tomorrow also. I'll reach out to Carrie Evans up on the city commission.
I think she's on the committee as well.
She is.
Okay,
Oh, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure she is.
Okay, so that might be a real quick way to pull in, you know, she may not be the chair, but at least we'd have a representative and I have a working relationship with her also. So that would be a cool way to try and pull us all together. So. Any other info on that agenda item that the committee feels is relevant?
I think one of the things that needs to be added, because all three of them have a problem, is the transportation.
Okay. I can bring that up.
Because as far as I know, Minot doesn't have nothing.
That is noted, Darcy. Hearing nothing else, we'll go ahead and move on to agenda item 3B, Dakota Pro Musica Performance Event. It looks like all of us have been given the flyer that just most recently came out. If I'm correct in reviewing the minutes from last month, we went ahead with a $250 contribution to this event. And, oh, and it looks like we are represented here online. Would someone like to give us an update on this? Sergiana or Tia, did you two kind of lead? Sergiana, did you lead this?
Yeah, I've been in contact with Jason Holmes, who's the executive director of doing the event. So I just contacted Whitney and they're sending the check for the $250. They just need the flyer. So it'll be out there. He knows that in a couple weeks. And then I can ask him, are we looking at wanting to have some type of table or something there for the event? I can ask him.
Yes.
Because I'm gonna be there for sure. I'm gonna look at them else, so if they're gonna be there. He is gonna be there.
Depending on if they open up a community choir, I may be performing with them, but if not, I'll be helping and attending.
So for sure there'll be two of us there, even if you're.
And yeah, depending on the table, it's usually before and after, so I'll be able to help set up and then sit at the table with you after.
So I can ask Jason about the event here.
And it's at Trinity, which we've been at before, and yeah, been able to set that table up before.
Can you remind me what time it's at?
7:30 on
Okay.
October 6th.
Okay. Perfect. I work until 7, but then I can
I don't see.
come right after that.
Fix the mine.
Oh. I will, never mind.
They have you working late, Gabby. That's not right.
It's at my side gig at the Pure Bar Studio.
Oh.
I'll go work out with Gabby.
Okay. Were there any questions for Sargiana or any further information we'd like on that?
Do you know how much the tickets cost to go to it?
I don't know if they got anything yet. Sometimes Trinity will just do a thing where they don't want you to charge for tickets. They'll just do it.
Okay,
I'll ask Jason.
because my question was if we're gonna have multiple of us there, and if we're gonna have to let Jason. You know, if, even if we're all in attendance like we did the Martin Luther,
To do a public notice?
yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be good. Cause Darcy, you might come if the weather and everything is nice. Okay.
And just say that there will be no whatever business dismissed or something is what it usually says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on if I'm singing that night, we can help coordinate rides and stuff.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I'm available too.
Cool. You gonna sing with me?
I have been told my voice is like nails on a chalk. I'm not too.
Any other notes of interest on that agenda item? Is that even a thing, notes of interest? I think I'm just creating a mini.
Notes of interest. So,
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move on to agenda item. You're right, notes of interest. Agenda item 4, build committee recognition, sub item A, these are your neighbors podcast.
so I can talk about what happened and then Tia can talk about what we have coming up.
Okay,
Yeah.
So Tia and I taped our 2 episodes, which were gonna be Sassy and Jason Tomes. They both were amazing. And then Tia got a phone call that neither of them are usable. So because of something that had happened with Dakota Media Access that day regarding an update, they didn't find out until the people who taped at 3 p.m. that day that theirs was unusable, and they found out that all of them that day were unusable. So we have to retape Jason's and Sassy's, which has not been easy. So I finally have a date where I'm gonna tape Jason's, which is this week on Friday at 3, and I'm probably gonna tape it alone. So probably first meeting by myself.
You'll be good, Jason. I started a new job, a new full-time job, so I started it last Monday. So it happening when it happened is not ideal because I don't have much flexibility until next week.
okay,
So,
Unless you're available at 3 p.m. on Friday. Because that was a backup plan, because we were supposed to actually tape Sassy last week, Jason and I, but then Sassy ended up being sick for the retape. So,
possibly.
okay, just let
I
me,
may just take that afternoon off. I have a funeral that day at noon.
and I'm off that day too, so.
Okay.
So we're looking at taping, we're gonna go in a different order than we should have, we're retaping Jason Holmes. And then we haven't even set up Sassy yet, but Tia can talk about the next 2 guests, which we're taping on the 6th.
so on the 6th, we're taping Lindsay Peterson, who owns Radiate Wellness. We're gonna talk about inclusivity in health and fitness industry. Just, yeah, really like inclusivity, and how she really helps provide this safe environment for people to come and work out in. Then we have Lieutenant Colonel Nicolette Daschendorf from the National Guard. She is, I don't know, I think she has a high ranking role in the recruiting and retention office. I know her well. She's awesome. And I think there's only a handful of women higher ranking than her in the North Dakota National Guard. So to have her there with that rank is awesome, but we're gonna talk about, I'm still waiting to get the okay on the questions from their we have to work with public affairs there. Just to make sure everything's in line, but really talk about it's just the diversity within like age, gender, but also like the civilian aspects, because so many people that are in the National Guard, we have civilian jobs, and just what our background confers to serving the community. And then also really focus on, I don't think a lot of people really know what the National Guard does in, they think we just deploy, overseas, which we do a lot for the community and things like that. So she's gonna talk about that. And then also like the pros and cons of being, her oldest son just enlisted, which is pretty cool. So like the pros and cons of, like stories a parent has and things like that. So it will be very, like they're looking at it from a recruiting perspective, but I think in how the questions are going to be asked, it's still very much going to align with what we're trying to do. It's not gonna be sign up for the guard today type thing. So those are the two that we have.
And governor still hasn't come back to us.
You reached out to the lieutenant governor.
Yeah,
I can check her out.
Thanks.
We should, I reached out for General Dorman for the guard, but he's unfortunately busy, so I got Dash, but she's awesome, so.
Yeah.
so T and I are meeting on Saturday to go over the questions for sure, and then I guess we'll have to go into, we're gonna ask for, the next two guests after that. It's gonna be all jumbled though, so we're gonna start to keep sassy. It's a real downer once you lose some.
Yeah, it was, and I wasn't mad when he called, and I'm still, like, we're not mad, they couldn't do anything about it. But I was super chill when he called, cause like, what can you do? And then I listened to it and I'm like, it was, I will say, the only good thing is we did go significantly over with Jason's. And I was sitting there trying to figure out how I'm gonna cut 10 minutes off of this podcast. And so I don't know if any of you guys listen on the radio versus on demand, but I haven't paid, after this one, I started really paying closer attention to when I edit, making sure that I don't even hit, because before I was like, oh, if we hit 30 minutes and 12 seconds, well, then that 12 seconds gets cut off, so.
On the radio.
Yeah, on the radio, but not on demand. So if we
Okay.
record longer, we can just say, catch the full version here. Again, Dakota Media Access, I don't think they're just blowing smoke up us. They seem genuinely super impressed with the quality of the podcast, our capabilities, as well as the guests that we're bringing on. So,
Thanks.
So again, if you guys have any suggestions, we keep a spreadsheet of potential guests, and then if we ask them, or if we reach out to them, we'll reach out to them, if they got back to us or not. But, I mean, we're still in for Clara. Remember, she was gonna ask.
oh yeah, I have to, I'll reach back out to her.
Clara one, she thought she would, but she needed to ask the firm, law firm that she
Yep,
works for.
about if there were any conflicts. Yeah, because she might slate it then for October.
Okay, I may have a couple. Yeah, I'll shoot you the info.
And this kind of makes me a little nervous, like with what had happened and now us trying to scramble to get one, because we were ahead. And now we're
Behind.
like,
She won't be behind, but she's gonna only have a couple days to edit Jason's,
yeah.
because it'll be up for Sassy's. It's just,
So even if you and I, we can talk about it Saturday, but if we could get another day and just even get one more.
and the other thing was, well, the two that we taped them in August on purpose because they're both within school systems. So now it's been awful. I've sent Jason 20 days and times to meet with him, but I can only meet with one of them.
So, yeah.
Oh, right, because school is gonna be.
Yeah.
School started today.
Twenty-four.
Yeah.
It started today,
I know.
and the school system starts Thursday. Oh, yeah, that's right, the one of PSC.
Depending on what you want from the lieutenant governor, we might be able to get Molly from HRMS, the chief legal officer.
Yeah,
And if she can't, she could maybe apply some pressure today.
She actually just emailed me today, Molly, about something else. She wants to be on one of the clubs that wants me to speak in Molly Harrington, right?
yeah.
Yeah, she just emailed me
And
today.
she did a lot of the DEI training across the state
Yeah.
employees. So it could be an interesting thing. Yep.
We help you?
I'm the small human relations committee.
Just say,
Yeah, this.
oh, you can take a seat.
I think that's all we have on the podcast. It's just really helpful when people like, comment, share on LinkedIn. Does really well. It's like with Sean Clary, his audience was really receptive on LinkedIn. They shared on Facebook and Instagram as well.
And I to tell you that, Major Hummel, who is the highway patrol officer, I reached out to him and said, you can share this with whoever. He actually shared it, they have some type of newsletter, and goes to highway patrol throughout the state.
Yep.
He actually shared it on there and I went out to, oh, there, government. And then Sean shared it on his LinkedIn.
Yep.
And his Facebook. So, I mean, we should probably look at to see how many views are on those specific
Yeah.
ones to see if that helps.
And the wedding, you probably would share through the HRMS.
That's a good lead in. If you're all caught up on reporting on that. I've had a few people reach out to me asking what would the capability be to get on Spotify? Or to a wider podcast branch, and would the two of you, now that you've had some experience and are a little more seasoned, do you feel comfortable branching out? Because it's difficult to access if you don't catch it on the air, to access the podcast capabilities, and Spotify is free to be able to upload your stuff, or there's a monthly fee possibly. I have somebody who I work with who would be willing to volunteer for the committee, just specifically to help you with either editing and outreach, who did a podcast for years, and then would be willing to help and coordinate with Dakota Media to see if and how they're able to start branching out if you're ready.
And I think that's hard about it that I've noticed, if it's the Mixcloud one, is if you do it on your phone, it doesn't direct link you to anything.
Yeah,
So you have to search and it takes forever.
yeah,
Now, if you do it on the computer, it's a lot easier. But what I do when I send it to guests now, I specifically take their episode and link in that specific episode.
okay,
So then they can go on there. But the city never does that. They just link the generic.
yep,
So if it's your phone, it does take a lot to find it.
yep,
And we can check with Ben and them. I think they were okay with that, because I think other people are on other platforms too.
okay,
So we can first maybe chat with Ben at Dakota Media, and then from there chat with Jason in the city and see what would be next steps. But because it would be much more work on our end, I would assume you just then have to upload it to Spotify, like you upload it to Mixcloud.
just a thought.
And we haven't done anything, the other thing that we talked about last meeting, regarding if we could start a Facebook page, which Jason still tried to peel in.
Oh, yeah. We haven't heard about
I
that.
said, Kale in the elevator, should I ask them, but I don't think we've
Because
heard.
we were thinking of setting up social media for the podcast specifically.
Okay.
That way,
That
That
would
would work.
Yeah,
I know it's one more thing to manage, and I think we volunteered to take that on. I don't even remember last month's meeting, like, to take that on, just one platform, like Facebook would be probably the best one for our community.
Yep.
Does Jason get back Wednesday? Is that what it is? I think it's on Wednesday or
Yeah.
Thursday.
He gets back at like 5:15 tomorrow, right before the commission meeting, so.
Oh,
if that's everything.
That's everything.
Okay, if everyone's all right, I'm gonna go ahead and veer off of the agenda just a moment. Hi, my name is Jason Grunick. I'm the chair of the Bismarck Human Relations Committee. Just want to recognize you and ask if there's anything you're bringing today, or if you're just here to visit with us, and if you can introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm new to Bismarck. I'm originally from New York City. I was involved with, getting, a lot of different groups together in some jobs. That was a while ago. I moved to Bismarck with family, and, I saw your table at the Pride Fest,
Okay.
and, I thought it was a great thing to know about, to get involved with.
Awesome.
I work over on Main Street, not far, so, it's easy enough to stop by and to help wherever I can.
Awesome. Well, very nice to have you with us here today. I just always like to make sure that we're recognizing everybody, and especially those from the community. We're here to help out. So if you're, just go ahead and hang out. If you have any questions, feel free to, interject and whatnot. And then at the end, if you want some more info on how, or ways that you want to get involved, we'll take some time. All right.
Okay,
Perfect.
thanks. By the way, my name's Faith. I don't think that's my name.
Good to meet you. Faith. Glad to have you here. All right. Do you have any questions so far, Faith?
No.
Okay, perfect. we're gonna go ahead and move on to agenda item 5 then on the agenda, Municipal Equality Index Subcommittee update. Whitney, did you have any updates?
No.
Okay. Did we touch base last month on the email Jason sent out or no? Okay, so let me go ahead and pull up. All right. Just,
He said he would pass on additional information as it comes by,
yeah,
but that's all of it.
and today was the date. Okay, so I'm gonna go back. Oh yeah, because it was August 7th when he emailed me. So the email from Jason, his Chairman Grunike, please see the communication below relating to the draft MEI scorecard. I'll pass along any additional information as it comes my way. So every year, the National Human or HRC, yes, goes ahead and puts out a municipal equality index scorecard of all the cities that are participating or have participated in the past. And so Bismarck, it was a 2-year project that we were working on the MEI scorecard to try and raise it. And so this is the email from HRC. Dear City Leader, this letter is to inform you of important updates for the Human Rights Campaign Municipal Equality Index. The HRC is the largest civil rights organization working to achieve equality for LGBTQ+ Americans. The MEI is the first nationwide evaluation of municipal laws, policies, and services affecting the LGBTQ+ community. For more information regarding the MEI, including a template of this year's scorecard, please see our website. So due to technological difficulties, the HRC team is currently delayed in providing the draft scorecards, but hope to have them ready for our review by August 21st, 2023, which is today. When we as the city of Bismarck receive our draft scorecard, they ask that we review their research and contact us with any corrections and supporting documentation before Thursday, August 31st. So there's gonna be a 10-day window.
That's only 10 business days.
No.
10 days.
So furthermore, our team will be holding office hours from Monday, the 21st to Friday, September 1st. During these meetings, we hope to discuss any feedback to the draft scorecards as well as answer any questions regarding the MEI. To sign up for a one-on-one appointment, please use the following link. And I tried and it doesn't take me anywhere other than Outlook email.
I am on it right now.
Did it take you somewhere? Okay, it must be my phone then.
It highlights different cities, but I'm not able to really select our city.
With the MEI office hours?
Like they have scores and they have how it's broken down and kind
Okay,
of, a lot of information, but, yeah, I don't see like just specific scores, which is what I was looking for, like maybe they had advertised that, but
okay. Did you have that email that I was just reading off? Is that where you went to the link?
Yep.
Okay, there is a link further down that talks about MEI office hours. And when I click on that link, it just takes me to my Outlook email. It doesn't take me to any appointment scheduling link, if that makes sense, to try and schedule a one-on-one. Because what I think would be good for us, if the committee agrees, is to try and schedule maybe a later time, as late as possible, for a one-on-one with them, and then whoever from the subcommittee is able to meet, we just show up and try and review the draft scorecard and see first off why there was such minimal movement last year when we submitted so many different things and what we can do to have some traction moving forward.
Do you think it would make more sense to meet with them earlier so we can get all of the information? If we wait till the end to meet with them, we'll be scrambling to try to get it.
True. I was just thinking because we haven't received anything yet. Yeah, good call.
Maybe so if we get it, I would try to schedule.
So the link on here brings it up to says bookings with me,
Okay,
and that has like a person and it has to sign in as a guest or with the email. So you can pretty much schedule your own appointment with this person. So whatever time works for you guys can. Like, okay, so Wednesday they have a 10:05, Thursday they have 10:35, 9:35, 11:05, 2:05. Friday, they are pretty much open all day.
how about Monday, the 28th?
It's open, pretty much open from 9:05 to 2:05.
Let's just schedule then. Would they have like an 11:05?
They do.
Okay. Monday, the 28th. An 05, that is so weird. And is that,
Minutes between.
is that Eastern or Central? Does it say? Because I think HRC is based out of DC, right?
Actually, but we may have with
A local.
region.
It's set at Central Time,
Okay,
so
okay, so this would be the MEI one-on-one. And I'm assuming it's like a Teams. But they may email you once we schedule it.
I'm guessing not this will happen.
Okay, if you want to link my email to it also, then we can kind of coordinate, or if you want to do it and then release it to the MEI.
Yep, I'll send it to all of
Subcommittee.
you.
Okay.
Who is on that subcommittee? 'Cause I have-
So the subcommittee was Gabby, myself, Geraldine, Stacy, but anybody is able, because that's who was there at the last subcommittee meeting. Am I missing anybody who attended?
Yeah.
But we did open it up to anybody who would like to participate. That's just the four that said they were able to make it a subcommittee priority, if that makes sense.
I should be able to make this.
Yeah, anybody, once the link is sent out, anybody from the committee can attend from the standing HRC committee.
Yep, just let me know how many of you plan to attend,
Okay.
so I can notice it, because that would be a open meeting.
Yep, one thing I would just ask guidance on is that if we have that meeting, that we maybe talk the weekend before and come up with, if we have that scorecard, just so that
So that would be.
we don't have, so we don't have 8 people trying to comment to this, the limited time we have with the national rep. If that makes sense, that we have just a clear defined set of questions that we want to ask, because the time is limited and they're extremely busy. The last time I tried to meet with them, we had time for 3 questions.
The other thing you can do is we could meet this weekend, you can get the questions and have a smaller group.
Okay.
Cause I can't meet next week, I'm on traveling to Fargo.
Oh, so maybe meet with a larger group this weekend and then maybe just a few of us go into that one-on-one. Okay. That would work.
Yeah, because now that I actually,
Okay. And that's okay.
it's with the
And-
new job, I can't be in that uniform on like this. so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Does the group agree with that then? Maybe meeting this weekend before and then coming up with a
So I think if we meet, you have to let, still,
Okay.
say that no,
If there's.
Thank
more
you,
than-
Gabby.
If there's more than 4 of you.
Okay,
So if the 4 of you meet as a subcommittee, I don't have to,
and this is more than 4 or 4 and more?
more than 4, because 5 is a quorum.
Okay. So this is all. I don't think today. This is all dependent on if we even get the MEI scorecard before this weekend or before this meeting. So I'll try and pull and see if there's even a draft of what they're looking at this year.
I found it.
You did find, and it's an updated one?
Oh. I 2022.
Okay, so.
So that's
The
the one.
word,
Actually,
Yep,
last year,
it's
okay.
the work, and they alter it a little every year about what the qualifications are for meeting their numbers, and so that's why, so at least we know they haven't released it, you know, in general, and we're just missing our city score. So hopefully we hear from that. I guess I would ask guidance from city admin that as soon as you receive something, just kind of, even if you need to give me a phone call to be like, hey, check your emails. It's been forwarded, and then we can kind of coordinate through Whitney, you know, dispersing that information to the committee. And then,
Do we want to talk about date and time? That way we don't have to, that way we.
If it comes out.
comes in, then Whitney can send out the notice, so we don't have to have, 10 emails at what time.
okay.
If you let me know now, I can, people to watching my children.
How about, do we want to do like a Sunday late morning or early afternoon, or do we prefer Saturday?
And I are meeting Saturday morning to do the podcast stuff, so. 10:30,
Yeah, we're gonna do on
yeah. Usually takes us about an hour.
Okay. And then we could start a meeting at 11:30. And if you're a little late, where are you two meeting?
Also,
12 Stone,
so Bismarck Coffee Shop,
okay.
we can move it.
Yeah, we can.
I have a funeral at 1:30 that day, so I would need to be done by 1. So that I'd be able to change and head to that. So then maybe meet at 10:30. Okay,
What is that? Which, I mean,
that's okay.
okay.
Is everybody all right with 12 Stone's meeting place? Okay. Darcy, if you need, I can pick you up that day if you'd like.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah. So,
so if all of this falls into place, then we would do 12 Stones MEI update at 10:30 on Saturday. And we'll send out a notice about whether we're doing it or not, so that everybody knows. And we'll try and get that out as soon as possible.
we should be okay.
Is that back room there? Should they have?
They have a room right?
I was also
The
thinking,
cost?
I don't know, so I was just thinking of Bahamas, which is a new one up in Laguna, Fusion took place. They got money.
You wanna go there? I don't care.
Mocha Mama's, into strip mall
No,
with,
now it's in the old, yeah, the old Fusion.
down from Country House.
Yep.
Deli.
Yep,
Yeah,
okay, so let's change it to mocha.
okay.
I just think coffee.
I was just thinking about,
As long as it's in business, yes.
yes,
Was that up north?
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
it's right by,
We should love it.
Yeah, I love up north.
So Mocha Mama's 10:30, which works better because I think Bismarck Funeral Home is on the north side up by Holiday.
No, it sounds
It's
very
very
long.
Lockport, or Lockport.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's by the gas station all day. You're right.
yep. It is Lockport, yep. So it's north side of town, which will be easier. Not that it's
Very
all
well,
about
send
me.
me coffee. Places.
Okay. I think we have a decent plan set in place. All dependent on if the national organization gets word to us. I will try and find in any way possible. I'll see if I can reach out to some contacts at the National HRC and see if anybody has the 2023 draft, even if it doesn't have us or any ratings, if they have the questions or the guidelines, that would be helpful for us comparing it to last year's, which we do have, where we were meeting their qualifications and where we didn't. So we could maybe come up with some pre-planning. I should write that down.
more.
We got that one last year, and if I'm correct, we went up 2 or 3 points.
But I mean, one is two that is what it is.
We got that last summer, last July, possibly. EI plan. I can pull some emails and stuff and give you a message with date or something. EI planning. Saturday, 10:30 AM. Okay, and then if possible, find draft questions for 2023. Okay. Any other questions, concerns, comments on the MEIs?
I did have a conversation with our head of DE&I based out of Sioux Falls. Because she had mentioned that she spends a lot of time in Brookings with her family, in part because of the work that they've done. So she did provide a connection to their city council of somebody who had helped a lot with that work. I passed it on to Jason, but I know she wasn't responsive to me, and I don't know if he's been able to connect with her or not. But at least had a potential connection. And I think there's some others that she knows of as well, to kind of see what they've been doing to be so successful in it. But I know that our head of DE&I had mentioned that you can really feel it within their community, and that's why their family spends a lot of weekends there.
Wow,
Wow.
that's awesome, Gabby.
Awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't ever been down there.
Maybe should make a road trip.
Can we just go down? Do we have a possible person?
Yep, sounds good, yeah. They got a perfect score, right?
Yeah, they've held 100 out of 100 for a few years now.
It's called Brookings?
Yep. And so for a smaller community in the Midwest, we're very impressed at how they were even able to achieve that, so. All right.
And I think we've been wanting to get together with them, and seeing what they're doing.
Yep.
And what we're not doing, or vice versa.
Right, if they can give us any kind of guidance. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for the work on that. That moves us on to agenda item 6, other business. I'll open the floor.
I have two things.
Okay.
One's that I need to ask Gabby a question. Gabby, I know you had sent me an email for the podcast regarding some potential guests and asking if we would want them on the show. And I remember emailing you back that they would be potential guests coming up. Did you send me the contact information?
I thought I did, but I can resend it if I
Okay,
didn't.
thank you.
Or, yeah.
Thanks. And then my other question is, maybe for Whitney or for Jason. Did Sassy get you an update in regards to, because one of the items that she talked about last time was doing stuff, and having a proposal for stuff with the downtowners, I believe. And that she was supposed to bring it to this meeting.
We reached out to her to ask for, if she had information that she wanted to have on the agenda, and I didn't get word back from her. I figured with school starting up that she's either not in the office or it's spread thin right now. Do have an update though. We talked with the city engineer about the sidewalk painting. He wants to come meet with you guys. So I think he's planning to attend the September meeting to talk about possibilities, when a good time would be, things like that, all the logistics of it. So the crosswalks, the different colored crosswalks.
For the month of June.
That was kind of Jason's idea. He thought that to get through like the planning stages of it and everything, that June would probably be a good time to roll that out. But Gabe is on the agenda, or he has requested to be on the agenda for next time. He couldn't attend this meeting, but he said he could attend the September one.
And was that in regards to just this or other things also?
Just the sidewalks or the street painting.
Okay.
And I do, one thing that, Sassy did mention, because that was kind of my initial thought too, was June, just, maybe be a little bit more welcome by the city overall. But then Sassy did make a very good point that, you know, we should be supporting more than just one month. So, just something that we can keep in mind when he's discussing logistics and all of that.
I am looking at. Whitney, who was the name of the person, the city engineer you just mentioned?
Dave Shell,
Okay, and then did you have Gary Stockert on
it will
the
be on the September one as well.
And was that mentioned last month?
No, because that came up after.
August first. Okay.
Yep.
So all I really know is that the City of Bismarck Emergency Manager, Gary Stockert, would like to meet with us also as a committee. And so, I think a lot of the divisions and departments are hearing more about the Bismarck HRC, which is exactly what we've been wanting and hoping for. And so we are becoming more of a resource across the city, which makes me smile. It's been a rough couple of months, and so a lot of this that's been coming through has been really awesome to hear. So any other business? Any other business?
Are there any other agenda items that you guys want added to the September one?
Okay, yes.
What is your someone's like money on?
I don't know what happened at last meeting, but we're rapidly coming up on October. And I feel as if we've had no movement with the annual event. Does everyone kind of feel the same way?
There discussion to not do it in October and to do it like. Was a different discussion, different time.
Did we have one last meeting?
Yes.
We didn't discuss that,
And that's okay.
because for some reason, I feel like wasn't it discussed to possibly do it in 10 versus,
That's what I thought.
for some reason, I
But
was in my mind, it was.
I could be thinking of a different community. Different.
October was just chaos last year.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because there's something.
And we decided November,
Like we decided,
Holidays would be easier.
so then we decided spring.
I feel for some reason spring is ringing a bell in my head,
Okay,
but I don't know for sure.
Don't look at me, I'm.
I was just thinking that you guys have the MLK
in
event
January.
in January. I don't know what you have in February. I always feel like there's something that
Pops up in February.
Well, when is the library one? Is that March?
Usually, yeah,
March. And then
Pride in June. And Juneteenth in June.
So. Just for the sake of minimal planning, as we all are very engaged in many committees. How about just an open forum discussion with some past podcast members and anybody we could get from the city commission about diversity within our community and a hate crime ordinance. And the only reason I bring that up is because we were told by the city commission members that they want more public conversation before they're willing to support a hate crime ordinance, and they feel there hasn't been enough. So if we present, which is part of our committee's charter, we present a forum for them to have these conversations, then when it's brought to the table next time, there is no issue.
Maybe we could talk to Fargo and see if they'd be willing to come over, part of that discussion on what they've seen in Fargo.
How they got it passed.
Well, in terms of the discussion on what they've seen since they've passed it.
I will bring that up to Cheryl tomorrow at the Fargo when I have the conversation with the chair from the Fargo. You may have missed this, where Fargo has an HRC committee also, and Minot now reignited theirs for the first time since the late seventies. And so I'm going to be meeting with the chair of the Fargo HRC and then try and bring in Minot to see if we can start doing collaborative work and helping support each other across the state. So what did I just say? I was gonna write down to ask Cheryl if they'd come
They
for a conversation.
Yeah.
Okay,
So we would need to set a date. I'm like a little traumatized from last. Last year's was a lot of work.
Yep.
And very few people. I felt like it was, the line when I say
It
this
was
was,
working, but it was like a good event.
it was a great event. It just, I feel like if we need to establish it so people can either confirm that they can help or, but I think if we take it down compared to what we did last year,
yeah,
should also help.
to just a conversation. Conversation with Bismarck HRC. You
I
know,
think for sure we can get Ann Clary to come, and she's on her podcast. I think Mike Connolly would come.
and if we could get, yes, but who was the main one who asked? Marquardt asked for more conversations. So I think Commissioner Marquardt, if she could get all five of them,
Mayor Spence was at
right,
the last event, so.
Yeah.
if we could get all five of them, that would be amazing. And it wouldn't be, this isn't trying to blindside anybody, this is, let's have this conversation. And then we would tap into 2 or 3 past podcast members who you feel may provide to this conversation about diversity within the community and the problems that we're facing.
And then
Yeah.
with that though, like, but it would be like open forum contained to just those people speaking. Or the
Yes.
public be able to come.
I think,
The public would be invited to listen, but then are we opening it up to public comment?
I would think that we would want at least a limited amount of time for that, yes.
Okay.
I don't want it, I need to stop saying I. As a committee, we don't want to feel like we're blindsiding them, but we also need to give voice to the community to be able to have conversation. So this would be the one topic, you know, and we could provide, what do you think, an hour and a half?
Overall total or for just public comment?
Don't think we will.
Overall. So it would be possibly 45 minutes of a led conversation at the beginning and 45 minutes of public comment.
So I think we would, yeah, I agree. We could have a moderator.
Yeah.
And even if the questions are submitted and then, you know what I mean, like if we
Or they-
provide
yeah.
index cards or something and they can write their question and we,
You can see if Dakota Media Access will do it.
oh God. that'd be awesome. I think it would, as long as we, because 45 minutes if it's open to public comment for statements. Like just reading every
45 minutes isn't that long.
when, you know, but if they're there for questions or you don't want to limit what they can say, but we also need to limit the time, so
Just 11 minutes. That's what they do at city commission.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
and it's more of a question or just, because if we don't need. Because people coming in just reading their stance on a hate crime ordinance is not what we're going for here. So like, how do we get that across? Cause we don't have any decision-making factors
I
here.
think it would be the questioning, seeking questions from the community of how has hate affected you in your community, or how has discrimination affected you in this community? To hear that there actually is discrimination going on, because the response was constantly, it's not happening here, why do we need a hate crime ordinance?
What changes would you like to see?
Yeah. Or the what?
Bullying.
The bullying? Mhm.
From our website's perspective, once you guys promote your event, I can create like a questionnaire that,
Send in.
and then, yeah, so people can submit their questions
beforehand.
or comments, and then we can compile a list for the moderator or whatever, and then whatever questions aren't addressed, then people have a chance to ask.
I love how I always look at my watch for the date,
I'm like, what are you?
Always.
Are you on your time?
and I have no date on my watch.
Okay, so date then.
Because I'm looking at my calendar and we did delete the placeholder for this fall. So at one, because I had a placeholder in October, and at one point we must have had a conversation and got rid of it.
I think you could do it, if we're gonna do it, stuff with the podcast, you could do it in collaboration with around our year anniversary of the podcast, which would be January. So you could do it like February.
So we want to move it into January or February instead of
Because
October.
We need to give the city commissioners as much time as possible to let them know, so they can look at their schedule and clear or whatever they need to do.
I agree.
Okay, so then would we look at something along the lines of the beginning of February, like the 3rd, Saturday, the 3rd? No,
Really,
is it what?
So
it's really,
if you wanted it to be broadcasted,
Mhm.
it'd have to be Monday through Friday, because DMA usually doesn't have staff on the weekends.
During the day or the evening?
If we schedule it with them, I'm sure they have somebody, but then you also run into banning meetings already in the Tom Baker room. So I'm just throwing that out there. If you wanted DMA to be a part of it, we have to work with
We
them
would.
around their availability.
Would we be able to do, are there a lot of meetings Thursdays? Like a Thursday evening or a Wednesday
do
evening?
it in the Tom Baker room, or do we want it maybe like at the library again, where it's a little more less formal feeling?
Do you think DMA would go to the library with us?
How many people, because I kind of think we should keep it formal, because then people will keep their understand.
I see, I need to have the exact opposite. I think that room down there provides people a lot of say what they want.
Well, speak to me. You have to go, and this is crazy, and we'll continue. And yeah, can I give you my email?
I was just gonna say, would you be willing to provide your email?
Listen to the podcast, and it's Spotify, but
It's on, you're gonna write down, here, we'll get the email and I'll email you the link. Sure.
Perfect.
And then make it smarter.
Yeah, if you want, just do your name and then email, and then we'll be able to loop you into anything that goes on with this. Thank you so much for attending this
You're
evening.
welcome. Thank you for doing this.
Maybe a good starting point would be to reach out to Dakota Media Access and see what they're willing to do. And then come back next summer. You can come back next 2 days to take care of that would work for them. Would work.
The 25th is the only open one in January on Thursday.
Okay. That's my cat's birthday. I don't know if.
I mean, it was a lot.
My pet can be your pet. For the 3 black cats.
Like all
So you have a world of bad luck.
I inherited.
Thursday, January 25th.
And then so far it's open the 1st and the 8th, the 22nd and the 29th as far as Thursdays go in February.
Would we want to look at maybe Thursday, the 8th in February? Is a Thursday okay with everyone? That's kind of not the weekend, so we may pull in more people. And it would be the evening. Like 5:30 start time, 5:50, 5:30 start time. I'm kind of excited.
Then are we getting together twice in that month?
Yes, because this would be an event, not a meeting.
I wasn't quite sure how that worked out.
So
A few minutes to pick up my children.
hate crime forum, open forum, and we can come up with something better than that. But
Yeah, discussion or.
I don't even know if we want to, I think we'll have more time to discuss this.
I'll have Jason reach out to DMA and see what that looks like. And also the commissioners.
Okay, to get a placeholder from all of them.
Yep.
If possible, and then we can develop it as time goes.
I say we should probably wait for you.
Yeah. That would be great. We
We should
could
invite them to a social and then at the last minute change.
be like, apple juice and cheese and.
Or wine.
Charcuterie. Okay, any other business?
The only thing I got is that tomorrow night with the commission, they're talking about the Bisman transit.
Okay, at the city commission meeting.
It is approving the amended budget. It's a public hearing on the amended budget for, to include that grant to Dakota, or the Bismarck Transit,
So
for the
the
paratransit.
grant
So
has been established
Well,
already.
part of the thing is that they wanted to ask Mandan because the Bisman transit goes over to Mandan, so they kind of wanted the Mandan commissioners to help out with the funding.
So Bismarck, the Bisman Transit broke down, like, okay, so this is how much we would need from Bismarck, this is how much we would need from Mandan. So the commission made the motion to approve the amount that they needed from Bismarck to amend the 2023 budget. And then that same amount will, has been added to the preliminary budget for 2024.
Okay,
This is like the third meeting talking about it, isn't it?
Yeah, so first they talked about it, then they had to call for a public hearing. And then this is the public hearing on the amended 2023 budget.
so has the same funding been granted? There's no cuts or anything?
This is actually just an addition to 2023.
Oh,
And then the preliminary budget has been approved. And then there will be a public hearing in 2 weeks for the 2024 budget.
Okay.
That amount was included on the 2024 budget.
okay. Perfect. Darcy, thanks for bringing that to the attention of the committee. Anything else for other business? Hearing nothing else, if the committee is so moved, we can adjourn. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Gabby.
That was quick,
Thank you.
and we got a lot done, a lot of things.
What was that? Notes of interest.
Notes of interest.